In this question, we're asked to simplify a rational function or rational expression with what I would say are fractions inside of fractions, right? So we have this 1 over x and 1 over x as part of the denominator and the numerator. So how do we deal with that? The first thing we need to know what we can't do, and that is we cannot cancel these 5's or the 1 over x's. And the reason for that is because the terms on top are subtracted and the terms on top are on the bottom are added. If everything was multiplied, we could cancel things on the top and the bottom, but because they're subtracted, we can't do that. If you forget that rule, we can do a little experiment. Let's say we can cross this off. That's sort of the there's tendency to want to be able to do that, and then you would get negative 1 over x over 1 over x would just be negative 1. Well, let's see if that's actually correct. Let's make up a side example without any variables. So I'm just going to say something simple like 2 minus 1 over 2 plus 1. This would be the same situation, right? The numbers and the terms are the same, we're just changing the sign in between. Well, we know this equals 1 over 3, which is not the same as negative 1, so we know that we can't do that. Once we've realized what we can't do, now we actually want to go ahead and solve this. So to simplify, we're going to get rid of the fractions within the fraction. So I'm going to concentrate on the 1 over x. I always want to multiply every term by the denominator of that small fraction. So again, my small fraction within the big fraction is 1 over x. So I'm going to multiply everything by this denominator. In other words, multiply everything by x. So it looks like this. Multiplying by x over x. We're not changing anything here because we're doing the same thing to the top and the bottom. Now when we multiply, this has to actually do the distributive property, and it multiplies the 5 as well as the 1 over x. So we get 5x minus 1, because x times 1 over x is just 1. The x's will cancel. On the bottom, we get 5x plus 1. There really is no other simplification that we can do. We've gotten rid of the fractions within fractions, so it does look a little bit cleaner. But now we just have a binomial divided by a binomial, two terms. There really isn't anything else we can do. There's no simplification, there's no canceling available. So that's going to be our final simplified answer. It's a fairly easy question, but just remember the rule that we want to multiply by the denominator of the fraction within the fraction. And hopefully that's a good rule to go by. You can always send us more questions, info@arnoldtutoring.com. Thanks.